You're watching the Batter Fans Network.
The heroes are back. PSG Talk, get balls, rapping pink and black. Coming live from the 305, it's official tissue. The Batter Fan, Chris and Dan, weekly rocking with you. We talk Messi, Boosie, Jordy, Lucho, the Fat Four, to Ben Cram, Noah, Ruiz, Fred. What more could you ask for? Tighten up and get ready, listen in on the pod. Solana and X in Espanol, just to even the odds. Breakdowns and gas bagging, join the tribe and just vibe. $3.99, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't hesitate, say what's up, go ahead and come in. No question about it, I'm ready to get hurt again.
No question about it, I am ready to get hurt again.
Chris, the Herons are back. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 379 of the Better Herons podcast. I'm your host, Daniel Granada, and alongside me, as always, Mr. KBD. How are you doing, sir?
How about you eat it, Mr. Krabs? We're on time. I brought my other co-host with us. I got my buddy here. We're about to give it to Paris, right? Right, Ratatouille? Yeah.
We always come on at 9:05, Mr. Krabs. I've told you that plenty of times, but we are a minute early, and we do have guests yesterday. If you missed it, we went over what we believe if Miami were to have a chance to win, what we believe that they could or should do in order to have any hope of pulling out a miracle win. But we do have our guests today that are going to tell us a little more about the PSG side of things and what we could expect to see from what's considered the best club in the world because they won the biggest club title in the world. So without further ado, let me bring on Ed and Ethan from PSG Talk. What's going on, Ed? How you doing, sir?
Daniel, Chris, thanks so much for having us. Yeah, doing wonderful. And I also realized I need to upgrade my intro. That was an amazing intro you guys have there.
Oh, that's all Mr. KBD.
I love that.
Yeah, I wrote that intro. So if you need a ghostwriter, hit me up.
Okay, I got you. We'll talk after this.
And Ethan, what's going on, man?
It's going good. Life's been good lately. Can't complain.
Oh, absolutely. And Tommy's letting us know that he should have been the guest today. Yes, it's just Tommy is our usual Atlanta United guest. We would have been playing them on Saturday, but because we have bigger and better things and bigger fish to fry.
Yes.
Then Tommy, sorry, you were rescheduled for October 11th. So we'll see you sometime in October. All right. So Messi. I think that's where we need to start. Obviously, that's the biggest storyline. Messi spent 2 years in Paris. Not the best in his opinion. I've seen people on Twitter that are PSG fans say that Messi has to pay for his crimes against Paris. I am very curious. Ed and Ethan, whichever one of you two want to take it first. Your thoughts on Messi, and a lot of us are thinking that although Messi isn't very public with his thoughts and he won't say that he's out for revenge, we believe that he's going to be out with a little chip on his shoulder. Or do you think the Paris fans, at least, I don't think the players care too much, but how are the fans looking at this game as far as Messi goes?
Yeah, Ethan, I'll jump in and then you correct me where I'm wrong or where you think you might have something different. So I think, for PSG fans, there's a couple of major transgressions that happened when he was in the French capital. And I think, when he kind of skipped a training session to go to, I think it was Saudi Arabia for a promotional thing, and he didn't, according to reports, have permission to do that. And then he had to film an apology. Anytime any player skips a training and a team function, you never love to see that. So that was an issue. But we were able to get over that. And then, but you're right, ever since he's left PSG, anytime he's asked about it, it's always negative. Oh, I was miserable there. I didn't like it, so on and so forth. And so, no one likes to hear the best player ever to live say that they hated their time playing at the club that you love. So I think that's where kind of the revenge tour, if you will, the animosity from PSG fans is coming from. We kind of want to get a little bit of a revenge back for kind of the things he's been saying since leaving PSG.
Yeah, I would argue not that we got revenge, but this season has obviously kind of been a good culmination of everything that the club's been trying to do for a long time, and especially the last 2 years once they got Luis Campos and Luis Enrique. They've put it all together now, so it's not like this is the be all end all for revenge games. And yeah, I get he wished he'd stayed in Barcelona. I get that, and I think a lot of PSG fans wish that he had stayed in Barcelona. Just like it would have been would have been best for all parties. But you know that our president Nasser had to get that marketing money from out of Messi's name. So it's weird. Some fans definitely are seeing this as a revenge game, despite the fact that our payroll and everything, of course, is much higher than Inter Miami.
Oh yeah, for
I
sure.
feel like it can't be a real revenge game because they're not even financially on the same playing field. But yeah, some people still see it that way.
Well, I mean, the salary of one player is literally like the salary of our whole team.
Well, our salary cap is $5 million.
Yeah. It was 5. Yeah, I was wondering what it was at. Yeah, and,
it's $5 million.
We got janitors playing in the back.
If you beat PSG, what is it, like 14 million for reaching the quarterfinal? So
it's,
I believe
you know what?
so.
I'm not sure.
It was 13
I know it's 7
or 14.
7.5 for making it this far. For making it to the knockout. I'm not sure how much it is. For
it's 13. Sorry, 1 million less. So 13 million if you beat PSG. So yeah, maybe you can buy some more players with that. That's not a small amount.
Is that 5 million? That's excluding designated players? I'm assuming
that's excluding the 3 spots. Yes, that's excluding the 3 designated players.
Just 5 mil for everyone else. Yeah, wow. Dude, I've been saying for years, Major League Soccer needs to up that. That's too low. Almost every club could
now more than ever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do PSG fans hate Messi more or Mbappe?
Oh, Mbappe by far.
Ooh,
especially
he just screwed him today.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Did you? My blood is still boiling about that. So yeah, he's supposed to be a club legend, all-time leading scorer, and he's suing over stuff that happened years ago. And if you didn't think that winning the Champions League after Mbappe leaving was bothering him, this tells you. I mean, we have gotten under his skin, and he has no other choice but to try to take us to court. Not us, the team to court, where he will probably lose there as well.
Yeah, the weird thing is that he doesn't actually probably dislike PSG. He dislikes Nasser Al-Khelaifi, which I get, because he still has most of his best friends there, and he's always loved Luis Campos, who basically started his career at Monaco and brought not brought him to PSG, but Mbappe was a big reason why Luis Campos is at PSG. But yeah, there's always been all of our players that have left on bad terms. Their agents have pretty much all said in the future it was Nasser. They don't really have an issue with the rest of the club. It's usually Nasser. So I feel like, but people do see our president as the face of the club. So I get it. But it was funny news that came out today.
Okay, Chris?
No, I was just going to ask about the expectations because unless you have something else you want to add about Messi.
That's fine. The expectations, because they just won the biggest title there is to win as a club in the world. So did you guys care about this tournament at all? Like, is there any expectations going into this?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we talked about a little bit about the money, and I know PSG seemingly have endless funds, but we do have to sort of navigate within rules. So anytime you can add to the coffers a little bit and add some more money, sure. I think that's why you're seeing, especially against Atletico Madrid, you saw a really strong team. You're still seeing Hakimi. He scored a goal against Seattle Sounders. You're still seeing these first team guys that were playing in the Champions League final still out there. And I think because of that money, and it's a trophy, and we want to keep winning. We won the Champions League. Let's keep this going. We've won 4 trophies. Why not make it 5? So yeah, I think PSG absolutely are taking this seriously. Now we are seeing some rotation. Guys like Seni Mayulu have come in, and some maybe our bench players have come in, but very sparingly. By far, you're definitely seeing our first team out there.
Yeah, go ahead, Ethan.
Yeah, I would add to that. The team definitely seems to care. Our president really cares. He's been talking this tournament up for months. I would say not as many of the fans care, and I know
Ethan doesn't care.
I really don't care that much. It just kind of feels like a cash grab. I really liked the old version that's now called the FIFA Intercontinental Cup, where it was only the 6 Champions League winners from each continent. I like that. I get that they'd want to expand it, especially FIFA, if they can expand a tournament and make more money, they're going to. I.e. the World Cup next year. Going from 32 to 48 teams, but the real thing is there's no, with this new format, it's not like this established history. It feels these
will eventually have it.
Eventually, but
yeah, go ahead, Ethan.
No, but I feel like these teams, a lot of them, they're mostly just playing for the prize money, which then you could expect it might be hard for players to get motivated for that because that doesn't impact them much. So.
But how much does the money really matter when you guys are literally making like a gajillion billion dollars more than every other team, even in your own league? Like I was looking at the numbers earlier today, and you guys, PSG, make double of what the nearest team, which is what is this, Lyon?
Lyon, yeah.
Like you guys blow them out of the water. You can build a whole Lyon team.
They've actually been relegated. Due to financial issues.
I promise you it's not going to stay that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right now on paper, they have been administratively relegated.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as far as expectations go, I guess it's for the money, but do you see that the team or the coaching staff are actually like wanting to really, I mean, of course, they're all competitors, but like really trying to invest everything into this tournament?
I think so, and I think an example would be against Botafogo. We did go with a semi-rotated squad, and when PSG went down a goal, it was in the second half. Luis Enrique pulled a lot of those bench players off and put in his first team starters because he wanted to win. And you could tell the players were irritated. They didn't like going down 1-0 to Botafogo, and they were really getting frustrated. So, yeah, like Ethan said, you can tell some of these players out there, they want to win this. And I think the other thing is, you know, winning is a habit, no matter what the tournament is. If there's a trophy on the line and other big teams are up for it, PSG, by no means, they want to win it. They are going for it. They want to win this trophy, whether it's the biggest thing in the world or not. It's a trophy. It means something, and they want to win it. And so it also looks kind of cool as an aside. But yeah, I think absolutely they want to keep winning. It's a squad of young players. The more they win, the more they get used to winning. And that's just going to shape up for next season. Hopefully we can win even more.
All right. So as far as on the pitch, formation and tactics, what formation do you guys usually run out there? And what's the style of play? Do you guys press high? I know you guys don't sit in a low block. So what kind of game style should we expect to see on Sunday?
Possession.com is what we're going to be seeing. That's what we see.
Ethan, why don't you take this one? You're more dialed into it.
Yeah, so we're going to play with a 4-3-3. I mean, that's what it's going to look like on the team sheet. When we are in possession, which is most of the time because this is Luis Enrique as manager, and we prime Lucho Ball is 80% possession. We're going to be in a 3-2-5 when we are in possession, when we're attacking in someone's half. That's going to be probably the fullbacks up, although oftentimes you saw in the Champions League final we would switch between Hakimi and Nuno Mendes on each fullback moving up into attack, and Inter was man marking the entire game, and the fullback switching all the time threw off their man marking. That's pretty much why they conceded 3 of the 5 goals, if I can remember right, in that final. And then I would say, when we're definitely prone to get hit on the counter. I mean, you saw the Botafogo goal they scored against us. I was just waiting for a counterattacking goal to get scored on us in the Champions League semifinals and in the final itself from Arsenal Inter Milan. It never happened somehow, but Botafogo did it. They followed the game plan perfectly, and so that's how we're going to come out. The fullbacks are key for us, I think, because they're. I mean, everyone's moving a bunch, but yeah, those two are just they're all over the place.
You'll see Hakimi get up and you'll think he's the striker. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing about this team is they're all interchangeable. Whoever's on the left wing will end up on the right wing. But yeah, like Ethan said, the fullbacks are really our strength. They'll get forward, but then you've got Kvaratskhelia, who joined the team in January. You've got Desiree Doué on the right. I mean, PSG just kill you down the flanks. And so if you don't have good fullbacks and guys who can win the ball back, they'll just eat you alive. They're so good.
And that's our worry, right? Because if Jordi Alba starts, and if he were to push up high, forget about it. Hakimi going down that right side, and he is probably one of, if not the fastest player in the world. So
yeah, he's up there.
All right, so go ahead, Chris.
No, I was just going to ask because yesterday one of the biggest things that we were emphasizing was the fact that in every single game we went back to, you guys had more than 70+% possession in the games. Aside from the last championship you guys won, Is that something that typically is like the DNA of the team, just kind of holding possession and picking your spots?
Yeah, absolutely. It's Luis Enrique ball. That's just the way it is, and I think he's identified players who are really good at that. Vitinha might be the best midfielder in the world right now. João Neves is coming. He's certainly in the conversation for one of the best. And then kind of under the radar is Fabian Ruiz. All he does is win. He plays for the Spain national team, and he's just stepped in and he does kind of all that dirty work in the midfield. So those three together are just incredible. They can hold on to the ball. They're so good in tight spaces. So it's really going to be interesting to see Inter Miami and how they try to win that ball back. Otherwise, you're right. It's going to be 70-75% possession to PSG. And with our fullbacks and wingers, it could get ugly quick, as some teams in the Champions League found out.
Now, obviously, there has to have been a game this season where you lost somebody that you weren't supposed to lose to.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find. I see that you guys lost to Nice and you drew with them also.
I mean, Danny, it doesn't seem like they have any weaknesses. We're literally playing Superman.
I was looking, and you guys handled just about everybody that you played.
Is this a lose-lose game for you guys?
Kind of. You saying like the expectations, like if we win, it kind of doesn't mean a lot, and if we lose, it just looks
exactly
terrible. Yeah,
terrible.
It kind of is. Yeah. We do have weaknesses though. Do you guys want me to jump into that now?
Absolutely.
Here's how you can beat us.
Listen,
here they are.
Sean Callahan said 80% because I said we have an 80% chance of winning. Don't worry about my math, but my math. Trust me. Okay. Mike V is saying, buddy, give it up. PSG is cooked. So the chat is on point tonight.
Yeah, we're cooked. No, you're right. Weaknesses.
We lost to Botafogo, Ethan. We can't be that confident. Come on.
No, I mean, dude, this Botafogo played really well. Like I said,
they defended for their lives.
But
they got Messi magic. You can't count them out.
No, but our weaknesses are going to be hit us on the counter, especially when one of our fullbacks are playing high up. We can get out of position that way. Our center backs have been they've been good. No, Marquinhos and William Pacho have been really good this year. But every once in a while, you can see more from Marquinhos. You can see like just an individual error possibly lead to a goal. And then we are not in like November when things were looking bad and some of our more irrational fans were calling for Luis Enrique's head. A big thing was physicality. But I feel like we've become a lot better at that. We've looked a lot better at that since November. But we're still not very good in the air. If you watch the Botafogo match, you watch any match where we struggled this year, teams lumped it up the pitch and they forced us to win headers off of clearances. And then they try and, hit one of those headers off to one of their wingers that are running in from, was defending a cross or corner. And then you've got a counterattack situation. Then kind of like I mentioned earlier, I'm so shocked that Arsenal didn't score a goal off of a set piece or off of a cross against us in the semifinals, because they scored 2 in the group stage match back in October, and I thought they would just follow the same pattern, but we are still vulnerable at that. So aerial balls and counterattacks.
Okay, Dan, I'm with that, Danny, and Alejandro here with a super chat. Shout out to you. Says, not scared of PSG. I saw them bleed against Botafogo. And Juan de Oliveira, just so everybody knows, he put a $15 bet to win $400. Messi goal, both teams to score, Miami over 1.5 goals, and of course, Miami to win.
I mean, look,
that should be better odds than that. 15, you should get way more than $400.
You should be getting way more than that.
This kind of brought up bad memories, but if I'm not mistaken, in 2017, the 6-1, Busquets, Messi, Suarez, and Mascherano were all on the pitch.
Yes, but that was a completely different animal of a team that you were playing against.
True, yes. But I'm just saying, like, bad things happen to PSG when those players are involved. And on paper, PSG should dominate. But I'm not counting Inter Miami out. Like with those guys all involved, I have to see the final whistle and see PSG up 6-0, and then I'll believe it.
Well, who's the X factor on your team? Like, if this guy plays well, we're gonna kick your ass.
Ooh.
Yeah, who would you say, Ed? I want to hear your answer, and then
Okay.
I'll probably give you mine.
A lot of people giving me crap because they say I give Dembele too much credit because my understanding he's going to play this game, right?
I bet he comes off the bench.
Yeah, he'll probably come off the bench. He's coming back. He had a kind of a muscle injury from the Nations League with France. For me, I'm going to go Kvaratskhelia, our winger. He had several really good scoring opportunities against Botafogo. He's just a guy that I've never seen a defender really lock him down. He kind of does whatever he wants. He's so good on the ball. He's very pacey. He's kind of twitchy. You never really know where he's going to go, and he's just an incredible player. And if his shots are on target and he can finish, then I think this will be kind of put away early on. So for me, if he plays well and he finishes his chances, and he will get chances early on, first 15 minutes, look for him. If he starts and if he can get some shots on target, if he can do that, I think it's going to be a good game for PSG. He's my X factor.
I think a lot of Barcelona fans are bitter that Dembele didn't perform as great as he has in PSG while he was in Barcelona. And I think that's why some people in the chat are throwing shots.
That's understandable.
Yeah, I get it.
Ethan.
The Kvara shout was good because Ed was right. If he's kind of cooking the first 15 minutes, for example, I was at the match in Seattle a couple days ago. It was my brother's second ever professional football game. The first one having been at the Rose Bowl a couple days before that, where we saw
nice
lose. But first 15 minutes, he's like, "Oh, who's that guy?" Pointing at Kvara, and I told him that's the guy who signed in January. And he said, that dude's like kind of cooking the first 10 minutes. He's going to score today. And he did score, even though it was that really weird goal that just hit him. And my brother was right, though. He did technically score. But mine is going to be Fabian Ruiz. I would normally kind of say Vitinha, but he's often the deepest lying midfielder. And it's a bit tougher to line break, break through defenses in that spot, since I'm going to assume you guys will probably sit in a low block for a good amount of the game.
I think so also.
Yeah, and so I'm going to go Fabian Ruiz because he's the guy that just moves a lot, the same way that we were saying players are moving all over the place all the time. Hakimi can play up at striker. You'll see Ruiz playing up top at times as well, and I think
scored against Atletico, I think, right?
The first goal, I think. Yeah. He's the guy that just, if we're gonna score, he'll probably be the one getting assists, I would say.
I know that Hakimi and Nuno are the most,
household, household names, I guess, the most notable names.
Yeah. But which one of your forwards would you say is the most lethal?
That's
the most lethal would probably be Dembele, although he wasn't to start the season. We were all really frustrated with him because he'd get in these great positions and then fire the ball, 50 rows up into a stadium, and then he just kind of things clicked for him, and now he's the leading candidate for the Ballon d'Or. So I would think of our forwards, he's absolutely the most lethal. But if he doesn't play, and of the players who would be available, oh man, I still would go with Kvara for me. He scored against Seattle Sounders. He's always dangerous. I would go with him.
And I always forget the name. It's also the 18-year-old.
Doué is 20 now. I think Doué turned 20.
Oh, he's 20. Oh, I thought he was 18.
He turned 20 last week. Yeah. Okay. Or 2 weeks ago, right after the final. I would say if you guys are going to sit in a low block, I'll also probably go Kvara because I think Doué's a good guy, especially. Doué's a good guy if you need someone to, dribble into tight spaces. Kvara's good at that too. He just seems a bit more physical, and that it feels like he can beat low blocks a bit more. And then Bradley Barcola he might be my favorite attacker on the team, but he's not good against low blocks because he's very, very speed dependent. So.
And Doué can be a little bit frustrating of a watch. His favorite player is Neymar, and you certainly see that.
You can see it
with the ball where he'll do these step overs. He's like, dude, you're doing too much. Just cross the ball. Just cross the ball. Yeah.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah.
I want to mention a comment here. Mike V says, last time Dembele scored more than one goal, I laughed so hard I fell off my dinosaur. And I want to mention something because Soccer Daddy saw you guys hesitate and said no answer. Soccer Daddy, there's a big difference. Somebody asks us who our threat is, we can come up with the answer like this. They have a
such a big
Rolodex.
disparity. Yeah,
They have a
Rolodex.
Rolodex. They're like, who can I see as a threat? There's like 45 people, including the janitor in France, that can score a goal on us.
Yeah, for us, it's pretty straightforward. Who's the biggest threat? Messi. Then that's it. We move on.
Like, it's not always easy. I mean, don't forget we did lose Kylian Mbappe on a free transfer last summer. We've spent money, but we've spent it wisely on really good young players, and we've developed them. Doué didn't come in. He didn't even barely play at the beginning of the season. He's been developed into the player that you see now. Same as Barcola. So yes, we've got money, but we've identified the players, and we did lose Mbappe on a free transfer, and now he's suing us. So it's not all roses for PSG.
Donnarumma, how has he been looking this year?
Oh man, up and down. We saw against Seattle Sounders, he kind of went back to his old ways, almost gave the ball away for an easy goal.
Okay,
but something happened in the Champions League, especially in the knockout stage. Like, he just went to another level. I think it was late November, maybe it was December. He got kicked in the face, and we kind of joke as PSG fans, like, that was the moment that things changed for Donnarumma. He's got this gnarly scar down his cheek, and ever since then he's been on crosses, he's putting his nose in there. Like, he just doesn't care. He's grabbing the ball, he's punching it away. We saw against Liverpool in the penalty shootout, he's been incredible there. So he's just been on this incredible run of form. Now, in the background of all of this is he's coming up on his last year of his contract. He still hasn't signed a new deal with PSG. So we really don't know. We want him to stay, we want him to sign, but we don't really know what's going on with that. But so incredible goalkeeper, one of the best in the world, but still he can make mistakes.
He's been playing for over 10 years, and he's only 26. It's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. So if we play a low block, how successful do you guys think you'll be in scoring? Because I think Miami fans, I wouldn't say that we have 0% chance of winning, right? I give us a puncher's chance. I put it at 15, 20%. Chris thinks I'm crazy. But I give us a puncher's chance. 15, 20%, a counter, something crazy, free kick. But if we play a low block, how successful are you guys, or do you think you would be beating a low block? Because we've proven to be pretty successful when we play that way against MLS teams, and now in this tournament, right? Because we know that you guys have a lot more depth, a lot more talent. So we play the safe. We go and we counter our counter, and that's how it's been. Would you say that PSG is accustomed to playing and beating a low block?
Accustomed, yes. Beating, not as much. I mean, we do it a good amount, but I compare the Botafogo match to games against Reims and Nantes that we played this year. The one difference being that we just couldn't get that goal to tie it up. They played real similar to Nantes and Reims, and those teams really low block. We see it all the time in Ligue 1. The same way that Real Madrid and Barcelona see it in La Liga. Those are two of the probably heaviest low block leagues in the world. And but it is tough for us because we're not that good at crossing. We try and keep the ball on the pitch as much as humanly possible. As soon as the ball goes in the air, whether we're in attack or in defense or in transition, that's where things can go wrong for us. So yeah, if you guys utilize the low block really well, defend the way that Botafogo did, which is possible, then yeah, you guys definitely have a chance.
Yeah, we have no aerial threat whatsoever outside of Gonzalo Ramos, who appears to be kind of in the doghouse right now. It's really struggled for him to get on the pitch, but he's our only real traditional striker right now, and the only one who can get on the end of a cross. So, yeah.
You know what scares me, Danny, is the fact that we have Yannick Bright, who is still training aside from, the main team with David Ruiz, and he would be someone that I feel would be huge in this game. Huge.
Absolutely. And I also think that Toto should start just because he is an aerial threat for a corner kick or anything like that, since PSG is lacking some height. But back to you guys, Ed and Ethan. I'll start with Ed and Ethan, then you can give me your opinion, okay? So let's say you guys are degenerate gamblers, and you both decide to bet the house on Inter Miami. That's right. You're feeling as confident as Chris is. You decide, I'm going to bet the house. Literally, my house is on the line. And then Sunday comes, you start getting nervous. Like, oh, man, I shouldn't have done that. I don't know if I'm going to win. So you find Mascherano, because for some reason you have access to him. You walk up to him, and you whisper in his ear, this is how you beat PSG. Mm-hmm. What are you telling him?
I would say, yeah, if you want to beat PSG, you have to defend for your life, sit in the low block, and you got to pull out some of the dark arts. You have to win free kicks in places maybe that you wouldn't typically win them, and then you just got to have some messy magic on a free kick or a header at the back post, something like that. I think you've got to pull out all of the dark arts.
How disciplined are you guys? You guys commit stupid fouls? Because we do that all the time. Just dumb fouls and give up free kicks in dangerous positions. Is that something that PSG does?
I would say we're a young team. I wouldn't say overly, but we've been prone to it. Yeah, we certainly could give them away. Absolutely.
Okay. Ethan, what are you whispering into Mascherano's ear?
Yeah, similar to Ed. If I had to just say one sentence, he's about to walk onto the pitch, and I have one sentence. I'd say, yeah, low block, counterattacks, put the ball in the air.
Put the ball in the air. Okay.
Yeah. As much pressure on Donnarumma as possible. Make him feel uncomfortable.
All right. You guys are making me feel better.
It sounds like it's going to be a boring game, Danny. I don't know if I feel better.
No, it's going to be an entertaining game. It's going to be similar to that Al Ali Porto game where they're on top of us, but they might finish, they might not, but it'll be entertaining. PSG is going to hold possession, but it's not like they just hold possession and don't get shots off. They'll get shots off. All right. So I guess we'll end it here. It's prediction time. So, and hey, we are outlandish on the show, so don't feel like you need to I think they'll win 5-0, but because I'm on this show, I'm just gonna be nice to say one. Like, tell us, what do you think? Are we getting our ass kicked? Are we gonna get a draw? Are we gonna win? What are you guys thinking? Ethan, your prediction for Sunday's game?
Yeah, and it's on. I'm not even thinking, I know you just said if I think it's going to be 5-0, I should say it's 5-0, but I honestly don't think so. I think you can see the fatigue in our players. It's good that there's about 5-6 days rest, whereas they've been getting 3 in the group stage. I'm going to go 3-1, though. I think you guys will get a goal. I think the way that you guys can play, I did a little bit of research, at least in Major League Soccer. Really, your guys' long balls completed per game is really good. It's top of the league. So I could see you guys, maybe Messi's out wide and he whips in a cross or something. I could see a goal like that, but I think it'll be 3-1.
Okay.
I had to look this up. If it's tied, it goes to penalties. I think we might go to penalties in this one.
We get 30 minutes. We get 15-minute hats, and then it goes to PKs.
Yeah. So traditional rules. So yeah, I think they'll go to penalties. I don't know. I'll go 2-2 at the end of all the extra time and all that. I think it goes to penalties. Look, I think Messi's got a lot of motivation in this one. I think us fans want to win this one badly, but I don't think the players are probably like, oh, it's Messi, our old friend, like Hakimi and such. But I think Messi is, if you believe the reports, I think him and his camp are very upset over what transpired there. And you're right. When he does speak publicly, he never really takes shots, and he's done that at PSG. So that tells me he's going to go out there with a mission and a point to prove. And I don't like the best player ever to live to have a point to prove against my team. I don't like the way this is going. I mentioned to you last night, this team is absolutely tired, PSG. We saw Hakimi just kind of just over the barrier there, just exhausted.
He was doing the Jimmy Butler meme.
Yeah, the Jimmy Butler meme. I mean, these guys are toasted after a long season, and I can absolutely see Messi doing something crazy and sending this to penalties. And I'll just because I'm a PSG fan, we'll squeak it out. I think Donnarumma is great in penalties, so I think we win. But yeah, I think that's what we're in for.
Moonman's crazy. He says 5-0.
Moonman is a wild person.
At no point, look, I think PSG is going to win. At no point do I think they're going to get their ass kicked just because Miami's going to defend for their lives. Like, they're going to make it very difficult. When you play a low block the way that Miami plays a low block, yeah, you might win. You might win by a couple goals, but you're not scoring. At least I don't think you're going to score 5 unless Miami's like, you know what, got nothing to lose. Let's go for it. And in that case, then maybe, because I think your speed will kill us in the counter, because us defending the counter, it's a humiliating in the MLS. Imagine against PSG. So I said it on our Spanish show on Monday, and I'll say it again. I believe it's going to be 3-1. I think PSG wins, and I do think Messi sees the back of the net. I hope that somehow Inter Miami scores first, because that'll make that Messi goal feel a little better. Because if it's 3-0 and then Messi scores, it's just not as fun. But I do also see the same way Ethan said, I'm going to go 3-1. Do I think there's a chance? I do think there's a chance. But if I had to put money on it, I'm going to go 3-1 Inter Miami, and now let's see what crap Chris
said. you didn't say Inter Miami. You said 3-1 PSG.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. 3-1 PSG.
Yeah. Let's keep that clear here.
So because I was already scared of what you were gonna say. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, what I'm gonna say is not PSG. Okay, so I'm hearing 80%. I'm sticking with 80%. Sean Callahan. We're going with 3-2 Inter Miami wins this. Somebody mentioned here. I totally lost the comment that Messi's gonna get right here. Xavier. Miami gets fouled outside of the 18 twice and scores. Both times 3-2 good guys.
Can absolutely see that.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. If you're talking about dark arts, and I mean, listen, if there's anybody that's king of dark arts is like Messi and Luis Suarez, they'll sell water to a whale. So I'm going 3-2 Inter Miami, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Ratatouille is gonna take the L this week.
Well, I look, I just can't be as confident as you. I think I'm being a realist, but. Again, it's a puncher's chance. I didn't see them beating Porto. I thought it would be a draw, and look, they beat them. And I didn't see them beating Palmeiras, and they should have won that game 2-0. So I'm gonna go ahead and Chris, you make me sick. I hate you so much.
I mean, Danny, I don't know what to tell you, but you're cooked when we do the post game. Like if we win, you're so done.
I probably won't be on the post game this week, actually, but whatever. Yeah. All right. Well. Ed, Ethan, thank you so much for joining us. Let everybody know where they could find you if they want to hear a little more PSG talk.
For sure. Yeah. We just follow me on X, PSG Talk. We've got all of our links there. So just follow us there. Click on the link. You'll find us.
Yes.
And mine's at PSG Boise.
We appreciate you hanging out with us. And thank you for giving, because you guys gave me a little hope. Right, I was at like 15-20%. I think I'm up to 25-30 now with the whole aerial attacks, and they're tired. We got the Jimmy Butler meme going. Okay, I'm up to 30%. Maybe by Sunday I'm going to be at 50%. I don't know, but right now you made me feel a little better.
It's the Club World Cup. Anything's possible.
Absolutely. Look, Boca couldn't beat Auckland. Who saw that coming?
There you go.
So, all right. Any final words, Chris, before we run out of here?
You're a loser.
That's
what you are. You're a loser.
All right. If you are listening on audio, we appreciate you listening all the way to the end. Please leave us 5 stars, comment, review, all that good stuff. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you for watching all the way to the end. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends. And as always, for those of you are in the chat with us, we appreciate you hanging out with us. It was a little light today, but we still appreciate everybody that joined. And then real quick, I guess I talked to you guys before the show, and I said I wasn't going to ask you this, but since somebody asked, if you can give the people watching just a quick summary. How are you guys PSG fans?
Yeah, I'll go first. So PSG Talk, I've been doing it officially now for 10 years. It started with a trip to Paris, and I fell in love with the city. I loved everything about it, and I was a football fan but didn't really have a team, and I started doing research, and I saw like, oh, there's a team right here, and I started getting more and more into it. Zlatan Ibrahimovic was there, and I just loved his style, the way he played. You might be familiar with him, of course, from his time in MLS, and so they kind of brought me in, and then I created the site, and here we are today.
Yeah, and Ed, I think your wife speaks French too, doesn't she?
She does, yes.
Yeah, and she spends a lot of time there. Yeah, so for me, simply put, I never wanted to have to choose a team. All my teams have been chosen for me. I'm from Southern California. All my teams are pretty much from there, and I want to do the same thing. So I just went, well, all my family's here, and I know, like, look at my complexion. I'm clearly my ancestors. Looked up where they were from in Europe. Central France and Paris was the majority, and PSG was the most notable club in Paris. So I've been a fan for over a decade and a half now.
Nice. And like I said, you guys, good team to follow. If you're gonna follow a random team, they got money.
It's been some dark days though.
Just a real quick question before we head out, because Hammy is assuming that you guys don't support American soccer. Do you guys support any American soccer team here in MLS?
Absolutely, yeah. So I support Real Salt Lake. That's my team that I like to go watch. Yeah, and Ethan, you're LAFC.
Yes, yep. Because I'm a lifelong USC fan. Like I said, Southern California. When they announced, hey, because I don't know, I just never got on board with LA Galaxy for some reason. And then, the new stadium's going to be right next to the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum where SC plays. So I went sick, LAFC, and it's funny that someone asked that. My city is getting a USL2 team, and I'm on the season ticket list, and their name, the club name and logo reveal is exactly at this time tomorrow, and I'll be there at the stadium. So,
nice,
very cool.
I can't wait to support that team too. We'll see what their name,
Nice.
but Boise Pro Soccer is who they are right now. But yeah, can't wait to go to all their games.
Very cool, very cool. Well, we appreciate you guys taking the time, and we're gonna jump on with you guys after this show is over to do it with you guys on the PSG Talk. So make sure that you, it's not live, so whenever it drops, make sure to join us there because we're gonna be out there talking a little more PSG Inter Miami. All right, like I said, chat. As always, you guys are the best. Appreciate you hanging out with us for the last 40 minutes, and we'll be back tomorrow morning. I got Cafecito with the Herons. So join us tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. to talk a little more about Miami. So until the next one, have a good one.
You're cooked.